You know, learning hypnotherapy, it isn't weird and it's certainly not boring, because when you become a hypnotherapist, you're not going to spend your day speaking in a low monotone voice so that you can bore your clients into an altered state of consciousness. That is the last thing you're going to do. Hypnotherapy is a form of communication that is so alive and dynamic. It's something about the energy that passes between two people. And when I say energy, what I mean is the science of energy. It's about you as the hypnotherapist tracking everything that you witness about your client. And when your clients are speaking, what they're in fact telling you is the story that helps them to make sense of the crazy stuff that's going on in their life, or the stuff that has happened to them ages ago. And they've done their best to try and make sense of it. And so they create what we call the verbal narrative. But it's so exciting to be sitting with a client and to be listening to that chirping, that sound that's coming out of their mouth, while you're able to actually track a different story and to explore that story and how it shows up, not just in their body and in how they hold themselves and the way they look, and the way maybe occasionally they swallow as if they're trying to keep something down, but also being able to track it through their eye movements and getting to understand that when they place their eyes in certain areas, that they're accessing different kinds of information inside their brain. But it goes way beyond that. You see, because the other thing that we have are called facial and expression tells. You know how a poker player, a really good one, is able to read the expressions, the tells on other poker players and get that competitive or that invisible edge. Well, it's the same for us as hypnotherapists. We become really good at reading body language, and I'm not talking just about the body language that you'll learn on a neuro-linguistic programming course. I'm talking about that innate, implicit body language that shows up and explains so much of our early attachment childhood, or the way that we show up, the way we've learned to show up with our attachment style and our early attachment wounding. It literally shows up in the way we speak, in the way we talk, in the way we walk, in the way we hold ourselves, in the way that we move, in the way that we swallow, in the way we use our voice, in the way we use our eyes, the way that we open ourselves up and close ourselves down. Hypnotherapy is not boring in the least, and the voice that you use isn't going to be boring either. We call it prosody. It's being able to use your voice in such a way to take your client on a remarkable journey, to create that wonderful feeling of security and connection so that they feel safe with you to explore what lies beneath the hood. You know, when you think of it like this, maybe that the brain is like an engine, and our job as a hypnotherapist is to pop the hood and to take a look at what is going on in the driving heart of their human experience. But hypnotherapy just is not boring, and it's not crazy to want to be a hypnotherapist. It's not crazy to want to have hypnotic influence on your partner, on your children, on your friends, because let's face it, we are all open to suggestion. We are all accepting suggestions, good, bad, and neutral. But wouldn't it be amazing if you had hypnotic influence and you could be a guide, a positive guide and use hypnosis to give the people that you love really positive suggestions. The other thing is, most people think that a hypnotherapist is someone you go and see if you want to stop smoking, if you want to stop vaping, if you want to lose weight, if you want to overcome a sugar addiction, if you have a phobia or you experience anxiety when it comes to speaking in public. But that's just the very tip of the iceberg. As a professional hypnotherapist, we call that our bread and butter. You know, that's the stable business that comes into us time and time again, because practically everyone wants to abstain from that bad habit they have. Everybody is battling against the industrial, modern, Western diet, where we have become so addicted to fast and unhealthy food. So that's our bread and butter business, pardon the pun. But there is so much more that goes on beneath it. You know, as a professional hypnotherapist, wouldn't it be amazing if you could work with singles, if you could help them to maximize their chances of success? I teach hypnotherapists how to work with singles on this course here. Or perhaps you'd like to work with couples and help couples to reignite that wonderful connection that they once had, and to bring that passion back into their relationship. And so I've got this couples hypnosis course, which will basically give you the skills to be able to help them to hypnotize their partner, to enjoy better communication, confidence and intimacy. And you know, if relationships aren't really your thing, perhaps you're the kind of person who would love to start working with groups and to run workshops. So instead of just working with one-to-one clients, or perhaps as well as working with one-to-one clients, wouldn't it be nice if you could work with groups within your community for specific problems or challenges? And you know, sometimes when you think about doing that, you can feel your anxiety rise. You can have your nervous system activation. You can become hyper aroused and freaked out at the idea. But beneath that, very often, the reason why you might be feeling that is that you don't have a clear-cut strategy on exactly how to run a workshop. And the key, I'm going to tell you right now, the key to that is knowing how to ask the right questions in order to encourage participants to engage in a very interesting conversation. And I've actually put all of this together in another very short, highly focused course called Coach the People You Love. And it is an introduction to process-focused hypnotherapy and mind coaching to remove blocks, create change, and seize opportunities. It's deceptively small looking, but this is confidence. This is confidence to run workshops in a 65-page book. So, hypnotherapy, becoming a hypnotherapist, working with clients and hypnotizing them is not boring. It is the most exciting, enjoyable, interesting job in the world. And it doesn't matter whether you're an extrovert or whether you're an introvert pretending to be an extrovert like me. There is a place for you in this industry, and the most amazing thing about it is you can actually find your niche, find your passion, and work with the clients that really energize you the most. So it's just, there's so much that you can do with it. Another thing that you might like to do is you might be one of these people that just doesn't like to be sitting down all the time. That, you know, the whole idea of sitting in a room with clients coming and going and spending all of your day sitting down, That might sound like a nightmare to you. I know that when I was working in London, I got really tired of it. I disliked being stuck in the office, sitting with my clients on a bright, sunny summer's day, or on a lovely frosty morning when Hampstead Heath was close by, where we could just as easily be out walking and watching the autumn leaves fall to the ground. So if you're the kind of person that prefers to be more physical when you're working with your clients, why not consider becoming a sports mind coach and adding what I call mental toughness to your repertoire? That will get you out of the office. That'll get you to wherever you want to go. And it's absolutely lovely working with clients who play golf and working with them on the putting green. It's lovely working with athletes and going out to the pitch or to the running field. It's really nice to take your skills out literally into the field and work in the field and do a lot of behavioral work, working specifically with the soma, because obviously the body is so important. The level of nervous system activation in the body when our clients are standing behind the ball, ready to take that shot, whether it's in practice or whether it's in play in their performance. So it's really important to really understand the difference. You see, this is where the soma narrative, and the body narrative, this is where this becomes really interesting, because if you're working with somebody who is a professional athlete and they're sitting on the sofa talking to you about the problems in their game, the problems in the process and how they address the ball, there's no way that can be as effective as actually being out there in the field with them and artificially creating that level of tension that they experience in the game. And we can do that through hypnosis so that we see exactly the problems with their performance, and they're able to show us then and demonstrate to us that level of activation within their nervous system that's actually holding them back, or creating what we call focal dystonia, where there's a tension and tightness in their muscles that is kind of stopping them from having that lovely smooth follow through when they're standing behind the ball, etc., etc. So don't for a second think that hypnotherapy is boring, or that wanting to learn hypnotherapy is crazy, because even if you don't want to become a professional hypnotherapist and work with other clients, if you are a sports professional, if you are a mum or a dad and you've got young kids who are going to become teenagers, young adults, how amazing would it be to be able to coach the people you love and learn the kind of deep work that professional hypnotherapists do on workshops, to have that positive, powerful influence on them. Or perhaps you're in a relationship and you'd like to have a positive influence and keep the love alive, to keep the fire lit within your relationship. Or perhaps you're single and you'd like to maximize your chances of success. No matter where you are in your life, learning hypnotherapy is one of the most amazing gifts you can give yourself, and certainly that you can give to the people you love and your wider community.